What's up, everyone? It's Robbie. Some of you know me by Closing Dime. In this video, I'm going to recap my January sports betting progress. Now, in January, I made $4,864. It was my best month ever. I had a 5.83 ROI, and I placed about 2,000 bets. In this video, I just want to go over some of my goals for the year, my goals for next month. I want to reevaluate how I did on each book, how I did in each betting category in each sport. And, I think it is really good for a profitable sports bettor to, take a little bit of time at the end of each month and review how they did, where they could be better. So in this video, I'm sort of just going to spitball some ideas of what I think will help me next month. This is going to be a little more laid back. Like I said, I'm just going to be coming up with some ideas. I was hoping I'd have a beer for this video, but it's way too early, so I got a Dunkin's instead. But hopefully next month I'm going to be having a beer and we'll be celebrating some more profits. Okay, let's talk about my goals for this month and for the year. So starting with this month, I used to set a goal to place like 1,500 bets a month, but now that I've been limited on almost every single book, placing the bets just isn't enough for me anymore. I need to get more. I need to get a number of cash out. So I'm going to be shooting for $3,000 in bets placed per day. If I can just make a 3% ROI on that, that'll give me a profit of $100 a day. I'll make $3,000 for the month. That's a good baseline for me. That's like the minimum goal I want to hit each month. Right now, it's a lot easier. There's tons of college sports going on. You get the NBA, you got soccer and tennis going on at the same time. During the summer months, it's a little bit tougher because you're only basically betting baseball. Um, but that's my monthly goal. I'd like to turn a profit on FanDuel. That would be huge for me. I need to figure out a strategy to make money with them. But let's talk about the yearly goal. Now, last year I made about $25,000 sports betting. I would like to push that number even higher, even though my limits are increasing. But if I can make $30,000 to $40,000 next year, I'd be thrilled. My real goal is to make over 100K before I'm completely capped out on every single book. So if I just have another few years making 20,000, I'll get there sooner than later. The other thing I want to do is I want to grow my YouTube channel. That's one reason I started it, is because I'm starting to get limited on all of these books. So I wanted to share my knowledge, and if I get limited so much that it's not worth me betting anymore, I still want to be involved with the sports betting community, and I would love to grow a following and just share all the knowledge that I've had. Right now, I run a Discord, and it's a small Discord right now, but I actually like it small because the people we have in there are just actually real intelligent and just like real sharp EV bettors. And I've learned a ton from these guys. A lot of them are smarter than me, but we just share a ton of information with each other. So it's great to have that Discord. I'd like to grow that, but I don't want it to get too big because I pretty much know everyone somewhat on a personal level, or as well as you can through the internet. I use the app Picket, which is a third-party tracker. It syncs all of my sports bets across all of my books, and it breaks down your bets by category. You can do all types of filter settings. So I'm going to go through a couple of these settings. First setting is by league. So this month I made $2,400 on the NBA. It's a really good, solid month. I did really well with player props, total spreads, everything. I was really got a lot of value all over the place there. Now, with college basketball, I did make $800, but I did struggle with college totals, especially on FanDuel. I think at one point I was down like 30% ROI just on totals betting on the FanDuel app. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that. I'm gonna continue to bet totals on FanDuel, but I'm probably only going to take expected value plays of over 3% ROI. And I'm going to reevaluate at the end of this month to see if I need to make an adjustment. I'm hoping it's just some bad variance, and I'll recover quickly with that and just start making profits. With the NFL, like I said, it was only the playoffs this month, so there wasn't a whole lot of games to pick from. Especially at the end of the year, these books are setting really sharp lines on these NFL teams. They've seen the players play all year. They've seen the teams play all year. there's not a whole lot of value you can get. I try to just hit some mispriced lines, take advantage of those. Obviously, I didn't do that good, but the whole year of the NFL, I've done really well. So it just cuts into the profits a little bit. And I actually have a Chiefs future bet that'll pay $710 and a 49ers future bet that will pay, I believe, $625. And those are all bonus bets. And I got both those teams over 10-1 earlier in the year. So either way, I'm going to profit at least $600 on the Super Bowl. I won't even have to bet it, which is awesome. There's other in mixed category. I don't know why Pickett doesn't categorize these perfectly, but those are all just a mixed sports, so I can't really make too much of a judgment on there. And then a couple European soccer leagues did really good on that. The other one that doesn't show up on here is tennis, and I absolutely hammer tennis on FanDuel. The plays don't come up that much. I use OddsJam to find all of my plays, and tennis pops up once in a while, but not too often. Okay, let's go over my sports books. Now, I like looking at this every month because I need to know which books I need to pay attention to change up a strategy or just bet differently through them. So, obviously, my big one here is FanDuel. I'm down $447 with them. Like I said, I was getting destroyed on college total lines, mostly alternate lines. I think it might just be some bad variance, so I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to probably lower my bet sizing just a little bit, but hopefully it's just variance, and I'll look at that at the end of the month. I'm going to go book by book and talk about my different strategies on each book, but basically FanDuel was the worst, ESPN is the best, followed by BetMGM and Fliff. Fanatics was low too, but I had a really low volume amount of bets on them, so that's not that's nothing I'm worried about. It's just I need to get more volume on them. I know I had some really good EV plays, I just didn't hit, so I'm not worried about that. But let's go into the first book. All right, let's talk about FanDuel here. Now, mostly everyone I know has been struggling this month to make a profit on FanDuel. It seems like their lines are the sharpest in the market when it comes to NBA player props and college basketball totals. Now, I was actually doing pretty well until the last 2 days of this month. I was probably at about a 3% ROI and I had a decent profit. So the fact that I just tanked the last day or two makes me hopeful that it was just some bad variance at the end of the month and that I can actually still make money on FanDuel. Like I said, I'm going to really be tracking FanDuel a lot this month and see if I can figure out if there's anything I need to change. Let's check out ESPN Bet. So I made almost $1,600 in profits with a 9.4 ROI. The thing with ESPN Bet is they are terrible at pricing alternative spreads and totals. I'll see a spread that's like Rutgers -9 for -110, and then Rutgers -10 points is like +125. So it's like a 35-cent difference between just 1 point. Obviously, there's not that much value in 1 point with a spread. I see the same thing with their college basketball totals, where the games priced over under is 150 points at -110 each, and then you go look and over 152 points is worth like +130. Clearly, 2 points is not worth the 40 cents difference. So I've been hitting those. I have a really good ROI there. Looks like I placed about 500 bets with them. That's pretty decent. I am completely limited on NBA player props with ESPN Bet, which sucks because I was getting a ton of value there. Now I can only bet $10. It's just a flat bet. So I do try hitting those once in a while, but it's almost not worth my time anymore because my unit size is closer to $100 now. All right, let's talk about WinBet here. Made close to $1,000 with almost a 11% ROI. I only placed 150 bets with them, sort of low, but the value is always huge when I find a bet with WinBet. But I do have some bad news. February 23rd, their license in Massachusetts is going to expire, so I will no longer be able to bet with them online. It sucks because I made probably $6,000 to $8,000 with them last year. They're one of my most profitable books, so it's going to be real tough to see them go. All right, let's check out MGM here. I made $1,128 with them, 5.6% ROI. It does look like at the end of the month I had a real um, downslide there. So that ROI could have been a lot higher if I didn't just fall at the very end of the month. But I placed about 400 bets with them. I got this is some real bad news too. I got limited down on their player props to literally like $2.50 max bets with their player props, which sucks because I was hitting them for $150 a bet all month long until the very end of the month. And I'm also limited on almost all NBA action. My max bet they're letting me get out is probably like $50 on some of these spread lines. So that's going to hurt me next month. I need to find a way to make more money with these limits on MGM. And even more bad news. This is real bad news. Fliff. I got banned on Fliff. I probably made about $10,000 off them in the past year. And I got an email from them saying that they're no longer taking my action, that it's in their terms and agreement that you can't bet their screw ups in prices, basically, which is what I was doing. They're letting me withdraw all my money though, so it's no big deal. This last month I made $1,000, 35% ROI is absolutely insane. That's probably why I got flagged this month. I also max bet a couple of player props and I won all of those. It's $250 max bet. And I've been withdrawing pretty much every month like $500 from them because Fliff it's an unlicensed sports book and they run off of it's called the sweepstakes law. And basically I was just worried about them going bankrupt. And I didn't want to keep a couple grand in there just in case something dumb happened. And maybe that's what cost me in the end and why they limited me, because I was taking $500 out all the time. But unfortunately, yeah, my run with them is over. It's going to hurt my profits a little bit, but I'll need to up my game in other areas to make up for it. Okay, let's check out Caesars here. So Caesars, I made $322, 6.45% ROI. Uh, just like most books, I absolutely collapsed at the end of the month. I don't know what happened there, just some bad variance. I didn't place that many bets with them, under 100 bets, so I'd definitely like to get that number up. I actually started using the app called Optimal, and I started finding a lot of plays on Caesars and DraftKings that I usually didn't find on OddsJam. So I think Optimal it's a really cheap app and it's good for, I'd say, EV bettors that are starting. OddsJam is far superior, but the simplicity of Optimal is good for beginners, and the price point is actually really good too. And for me, it's worth having Optimal just to compare some different odds and find a couple extra plays that I normally wouldn't. So I think Optimal had a big part of why I did good in Caesars this month. And the next book I want to talk about too is DraftKings. Um, Made $87 with them, only a 1.6% ROI. But at the end of the month, I actually came up. I think that was also around the time I started using Optimal, and I just found a lot more value on DraftKings than I ever did before using OddsJam. So for if you're trying to make money on just DraftKings, I think Optimal is great in identifying DraftKings plays. I think OddsJam actually weighs the DraftKings line quite a bit, so it doesn't come up for value because it's actually using DraftKings odds to come up with the true line. But I'm pretty excited for next month. I think uh, Optimal and OddsJam together, I should be able to get a lot more bets down on these two apps and make a lot of money. The last app I have here to talk about is Fanatics, and I lost close to $100, 17% ROI, negative 17% ROI. I only placed like 35 bets with them. That's because I'm flat limited on them too. I can only bet $10 a play. So most of the time, if I see a play pop up, I usually ignore it and just go bet on a different app where I can actually put a lot of money down. Now, the one strategy I'm going to do this month is I'm going to try parlaying multiple positive EV bets in Fanatics, because you actually get 3% fan cash if you place parlays. So I did a little experiment earlier today where it's letting me get $22 off on a parlay. And if I just bet those bets individually, it would have only let me bet $10 each. So I'm getting a little more action out, and I'm getting 3% fan cash back. So basically, all that is if I spend $100 betting, I'm going to get $3 in fan cash. The cool thing with fan cash is it can be converted into bonus bets. And with OddsJam, I can convert 75% of my bonus bets into profit. So if I earn $100 in fan cash, convert it to bonus bets, I'll profit $75 on that $100 fan cash. So it's a different strategy that I'm going to try. I just want to try making over a couple $100 on every one of these books, even if I'm limited really bad. All right, quick recap here. So last month, or month of January, was my most profitable month ever, almost $5,000 profit. Next month, I would love to make over $3,000 profit, and I'd love to bet over $3,000 per day with at least a 3% ROI. That would help me hit my goals for the month, and if I continue that, it'll hit my goals for the year. But just wrap this up by saying that 90% of my bets are found on the website OddsJam, and if you sign up using my link below and type in the code closing dime, you'll get 35% off your first month. I have different videos about OddsJam that you can watch. I really recommend it for anyone trying to make money sports betting. It is a extremely valuable tool. The other thing I'm going to promote here a little bit is Optimal, because I have had success this month using it. It's only, I think, $12 a month. And if you're just starting EV betting, it's definitely a cool little tool to have. And even if you are using OddsJam, I think it's also, they work really well together if you're able to use Optimal and OddsJam at the same time. If you are interested in positive EV betting or signing up for OddsJam, but you have more questions, obviously you can comment on this video, or you can join my Discord, where there are a bunch of EV bettors that will help answer your questions. I'll put that link below. The link to OddsJam will be below. Yeah, you can follow me on Picket. And that's basically it. So I will do another recap next month. Hopefully I'll have a beer with my hand celebrating. So good luck, everyone. I hope you all make some money.